Third Reich and roll.
I always hated the sun. It hurt my eyes, made me ill. My my mom never let me go out till after dark. And when I did go out, the daylight seemed to hate me too.
Hey, look, an albino.
Jeez, how'd you get a load of that?
The 13th anniversary show.
I knew I was different, but I felt safe at home. My mom taught me to play piano, my only solace in life. My name was Eddie then. After my mom died, I got a job as a janitor at the local college. I met Kay and Gil there. They worked nights too at the library. The three of us ate dinner together in the staff lounge. They were the only friends I ever had. Kay was pretty and sweet and made me feel like I wasn't so different after all. Gil was clever and confident. I was flattered by his attention. I had a crush on Kay, but soon realized something was going on between her and Gil. It surprised me too because Kay was buried. Her husband, Todd, was a real brute, and Kay was scared he would find out about Gil. Gil suggested we have our dinner break at my house when he found out it was nearby. Soon, we were doing it nearly every night. My playing seemed to put them in a romantic mood. I would discreetly slip out for a walk when they started making out. Soon, it was a standard routine, and even though I wished it was me with Kay, it still felt good to be part of their lives. One night, after leaving them together, I heard a noise behind me. It was Todd looking for Kay. I didn't like the way he looked at me, and I told a feeble lie. Suddenly he pounced and clubbed me with his fists again and again.
Don't lie to me, you freak. Don't lie to me. You almost think I'm real stupid, huh? You repulsive thing. Well, now I'm gonna go break up my wife's little romance. For keeps.
Dazed and hurt, I dragged myself home. I heard fighting inside and prayed I wasn't too late. But I was. Oh no.
Back for more, huh?
Then Gil sprang up, pulled the knife from Kay's body, and I stood transfixed, staring at their bodies as Gil shouted,
Eddie, we've got to get out of here.
"This is my house, Gil. Besides, you killed him in self-defense." I was in for a surprise.
You don't get it. I'm married. I've got kids. I can't let them find out about this. I can't. My wife thinks I'm a hard-working, nice guy. My life would be ruined if she found out.
You're married too? But you never... Gil begged me to take him to the doctor, though I could barely drive.
You've got to promise you won't tell the cops about me. Will you, old buddy? Huh?
He didn't care that Kay was dead. I realized then that he'd just been using both of us. Gil made me drive too fast, swerving recklessly until... the sun's coming out. I can't take the glare. It hurts my eyes.
Hey, look out!
Gil was killed instantly, and in a state of shock, I stumbled into the forest. I was afraid. No one would believe me now.
Psycho-albino killer sought in double homicide. Bodies of a man and woman were discovered in the maniac's house by curious neighbors.
I found a cave and lived. How long? Days? Weeks? Years? I slept during the day and prowled at night. Dirt caked over my sensitive skin. One night, some men cornered me, cowering in fear and hatred.
Hey, boss, look at this critter we found swiping food.
He was grunting and snarling like a wild pig, and he's got pink eyes.
How would you like a job, son?
Now I have a new home. A trailer with glass walls filled with rocks and dirt. I was given a piano and a new identity, Herman, the human mole. I may be a sideshow exhibit, but it's worth it if I never have to see the daylight or another human face again.
Hello? Hello? Look, I told you not to call here again. This is sexual harassment, and if you call one more time, I'm going to report it to the police. Did you understand? Bill, can you just wait a minute? What? I've got to get rid of this creep on my phone. I'm not taking any more, yeah? No? How could I possibly know who it is? It's a crank call. You moron. What did you say? Look, I told you a million times I don't have any boyfriend. Yeah, I know it. And if he did, he wouldn't be stupid enough to call me here. Yeah. No. No, I did not call you stupid, but that's not a bad idea. Bill, what are you doing? You got a gun? Yeah. Put that down before you hurt yourself. All right. Get away from me with that thing. Get away. Get away from me.
Did you hear that, asshole? Did you hear that? Well, you're next, buddy boy.
Big bubble.
Is it a tumor? Yes, friends, it can only be the bump of Bouncing Benny, hiding beneath his cape and waiting to be revealed in his famous dance, the Bouncing Bump.
Praise the Lord, everybody. I give honor to God for being here tonight. It's just a blessing to be in the midst of God's chosen people. This crowd here tonight, I'm just so excited about it.
The Northwest this evening, low pressure pushes rain and thunderstorms across Minnesota, Iowa, and the Great Lakes this evening. Clear skies blanket the west coast, while the Northeast and the Florida Peninsula will...
Do this to your neck. The Contour Pillow comfortably supports your neck so your muscles can relax, reducing strain and allowing you to breathe more freely.
The first time I went with a bunch of girls. I mean, I'm a bookkeeper. People look at me at work. I do not look like this. I'm straight-laced, and they're like, it's a place you can go let your hair down. You watch all these guys dance, and they look good. It's a nice fantasy. And the first time I went, here's this guy. He comes out, and I was shocked.
My body's perfectly human, but the particular people, the intelligence that was transferred to my mind was...
Spirit work, and that's literally opening up the light and saying, like turning on a TV set in a room, I turn on the door to the light, and I say, this is where you need to go. I ask helpers that are spirit helpers on the other side to come forward and say, help them if they need help, show them the way to go, show them the path.
Your last name has a special meaning. It transmits powerful forces that, along with your birth date, reveals your personality and future.
就算喐手啊，因為當食飽飯運動下啫嘛。唔得㗎，唔得㗎，唔得㗎，咪搞我，我走啦。
We're losing it in a lot of places, you know. Just everybody's the doctors and everybody else. There's a lot of things I wouldn't want to sit here and do a soliloquy or my philosophy or whatever, but.
Now, I know you like to look your best for Mr. McCormack, but he is far more concerned with square roots than hair roots.
Legislation that Chinese immigration, which had reached 40,000 in a single year, dwindled to just 10 people in 1887.
I didn't know Harrison Ford did impressions. His Carol Channing was terrific.
You know, Patriot Game should have been a musical.
Volver, volver, volver. brazos otra vez. Llegaré hasta donde estés. Yo sé perder, yo sé perder.
Welcome back to Maryland International Raceway and the International Hot Rod Association Snap-on Tools President's Cup Nitrous Nationals. Bob Barsham, Ted Jones, and Brett Kepner with you. We'll kick things off with quarterfinal action in Pro Modified. And our first pairing,
with 44 seconds to go in the opening quarter in Sacramento. Some early movements from Sacramento.
Prices are as follows. For the 16-inch, which is 3 grams, $82. For the 18-inch, which is 3.5 grams, $96. And for the 20-inch, which is 3.8 grams.
I got these killer M80s from Mexico.
That many people will find offensive, grotesque, and disgusting, and in really bad taste.
Claims that Madonna called his house endlessly, inviting him to come to a concert, to go out to dinner, to go on dates while she was in London, but he had to refuse her.
Often blurred reality. Somewhere between the Kansas border and Virginia City, there exists the real West. Join Hope
to get ahead in sports or in life. What you're really saying about yourself is, you've got no heart.
Lonnie Anderson is secretly planning a spring wedding to her blue-eyed lawyer lover, Jeff Brown, and Burt Reynolds says he's delighted for his future ex-wife.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship. For the first time ever, witness the fiercest fighting disciplines. Karate, boxing, sumo, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, kickboxing, savate, shoot fighting. Matched one-on-one, discipline against discipline, fury versus finesse, until only one man is left standing.
3,200. Or send check on money order for $39.95 plus $5.50 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen.
An association of professional psychics, and we are the real thing. Not just another 900 line. This is the one, the only one that certifies the authenticity of...
To some, it looks like the Virgin Mary, and to others, simply a tree trunk. Since Saturday, at least 500 Roman Catholics have gathered at a tree in Brownsville, Texas. Most claim to see the image of the Virgin with her arms outstretched. The owner of the property says he hopes the tree trunk will become a religious tourist attraction.
You can pick up your phone and talk directly with an established professional psychic in the privacy of your own home. If you have a question about your future, now you can call your own personal psychic anytime, 24 hours a day.
Two beings will come into the room, remove you from your bed, literally take you right through walls or doors or ceilings and into a very dark object hovering over the house.
It's a song that I think we can all identify with.
Yeah. I'm saying now that a man chases a woman.
Elvis.
Yes.
What's he doing?
He is studying medicine. And I tell... All right, okay.
You are kidding.
No. Let me tell you the reason he's studying medicine. He abused his health.
I actually feel sorry for these women. You see, I do. No, truly I do. They're not fulfilled because a woman can only really be happy and fulfilled if she's in a relationship with a strong, dominating, controlling man like me. That's what a woman...
I just figure if you're going simulated and you're spending $200, you might as well get some punch for it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And there, fortunately, we do make smaller rings for people who don't share our bold taste, but it is bowl cleaner.
Introducing new X14 toilet bowl cleaner with 2 times more chlorine cleaning power of the others. It's new. It's better. It's X14. Look for the money-saving coupon on Sundays.
Seemed that his eyes were empty under half-closed lids. Made it all the more disturbing knowing Benny heard a bump that looked like clods of dirt inside some sickly lung that barely peeked beneath his shirt and twitched like Toto's tongue. For 50 cents inside a tent adjacent to the rest, the weaker souls would hide their eyes while Benny bared his chest. He rubbed the bump with oleo and little bits of meat and stroked the shape as it extended down toward his feet.
He would put a record on, then go into a trance until he heard his mother's favorite polka. Then he danced. The record player went too fast, but Benny, he didn't care. He simply bounced around the room while people stood and stared. About one single thing. He collected magazines for women in the ring. He kept them all in plastic bags, and everybody said that Benny talked to them at night before he went to bed.
Someone to wrestle with. She'd have to wear a hood and a homemade and a hammerlock. She was feeling good. She'd probably have a ponytail that stuck out from the back. Oh, I bet her eyes would shine right when she attacked. Oh, she might be kind of mean sometimes and act like we weren't friends. But when that match was over, we'd be buddies until the end. I got to go, I got to go. I know that she's there, waiting in a ring for me to hug her like a bear.
Commercial album.
Walk up
be cruel to a heart that's true. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. I don't want no other love. Maybe it's just you that I'm thinking
The history of American music in 3 easy pieces.
Oh, I fell in love with a neighbor girl. Her cheeks were soft and white. Another fell in love with her too, and he hit a fire. Oh, it makes me shake and shudder to think of that awful night when Tom and I began to fight, and I stabbed him with my knife. I fell down on my knees and tried to stop the blood. It came out from his side all spurting like some bright red crimson blood.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, gosh, I guess I must have been asleep.
You sure were.
Oh, I had a dream. Had a real funny kind of a dream.
Tell us, Granddad, tell us.
Well, okay, all right, I'll tell you guys. This is a dream about a little baby. A little baby that wanted to be a king. Say, Shorty, I bet you'd like to be a king, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it figures. Well, anyway, this little baby, he worked and worked because he thought that kings were good and kings were strong. Kings were the best of everything. So, anyway, one day a stranger comes along and this stranger says, hey, I can make you a king, just follow me. And he did. and kind of worked for a little while, and he had one bright, shining moment when he was really happy. And I used to kind of pretend like I was part of this, so if you guys like, I can show you a little bit. What do you think, huh? Yeah. Okay, all right, calm down. Calm down. I'll show you a little bit. I hope I can remember how. I hadn't done it for a long time. Baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and leave me anywhere. I'll let it be your teddy bear. Well, I don't want time goes down, play around. Well, I don't want to be alive. I'm Run your fingers through my hair and squeeze me real tight. Let me be your teddy bear.
Duckstab.
I love you and cause I do. My skies have changed from gray to blue, but blue's not just a color of the rainbow.
This is Eddie, your buy or die guy from Ralph America. You know you're one of my favorites, and I would love to have a little chat, but I'm currently offline. If you have any money, please call me back at 1-800-795-3933. Now, don't forget that number. It's 1-800-795-3933. Ta-ta!
Flavor of vermin coated my nostrils like a seething hatred. The stench of bitch was more than a breathing body could understand. But all bodies don't breathe to the Eloise. No, some play by the night and bubble with scorn and beat on the knees that have never been born. Oh God! How I hated that day of all days. At the end of the night, the slowly pink lights. Just split me in two, Wolverine, with the edge of a blade of another nightshade. Could I cry out after all that I'd heard? No. Never a word from this Mortimer Snerd.
Eskimo.
Hello? Hello? Oh, it's you. Why do you keep calling me? You never talk, but you're always there. You're just like my second husband. He never talks to me either. You're not Arnold, are you? No, he would never call me. Why don't you say something? Just tell me your name. Please? Tell me your name. There must be some reason why you keep calling me. Don't you understand? I'm middle-aged and overweight, and I've been married 4 times. And yesterday, I was bit by a dog. Nobody wants me. Nobody but you. And you don't say anything. And I gotta know why. Please tell me why. Please? 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 Please?
Our finest flowers.
Nein, it is forbidden to go in there.
Fingerprints. Freak show.
When he hides beneath a shirt and shows only when he does his famous dance, the bouncing buckle on his shoulder.
To the freak show, to laugh at the freaks and the geeks.
in 3 persons. George and James.
Here's Harry. Harry the Head, formerly known as King of the Freaks, now faithfully fulfilling his final prophecy. He lives forever in a bottle of formaldehyde.
The head was hardly human. The head is finally dead.
I can live forever in formaldehyde.
Said the head.
Once he made me so mad, I knocked him on the floor. He rolled around and found a little paintbrush by the door. As he held it in his teeth, he painted angels on the skirt I
The head was hardly human. The head is finally dead.
I can live forever in formaldehyde.
He said. Head is dead. 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 Skinny was born in a bathtub and grew so incredibly thin that even the end of an eyedropper sucked him in. Now Skinny never knew Skinny never looked at lights, but Skinny sold something every single night. Skinny sold a soldier to me, Skinny sold a wife, Skinny sold a suction cup and a knife. Skinny found a Hello Dolly record in the hall. He sold it to a truck driver in the fall.
Pass beneath this portal and peer into the subterranean world so strange that you will doubt its existence, even as you leer into the lair of Herman the human mole.
Okay, you got me. I'll tell you my story, but then you have to go away. Well, what are you waiting for? Forget it.
Salvatore's Pizzeria. Come on, Mac, I ain't got all day. Okay, nobody's talking, so it must be the Mole Man. Large double mushroom, right, Mole Man? Sure, it's right. You don't never order nothing else. Ain't that right, Mole Man? Let's go. Push the button so I'll know it's you. Forget it. This is Dr. Lopez. Who is it? Is that you, Eddie? Still making the prank calls, just like when you were a kid, huh? But you're not a kid anymore, are you, Eddie? Your mother was aware of your social problems when she brought you to me years ago, but she had no idea how deep your psychosis goes. You must be very lonely, Eddie. You've been calling me a lot lately. I know it's your way of reaching out, so let me help, Eddie. Talk to me. Now, Eddie, you know I can't do a thing if you won't talk to me. Okay? Eddie? I'd love to help, but I'm going to have to hang up now. Bye, Eddie. Yeah? Who's there? This better not be that little albino creep again. Is that you, creep? Look, I told you not to call me again. It wasn't my fault. That Gil crud was bonging my wife, and he stabbed me in the back. You both thought I was dead, and I wish to God I knew how you found out different. But you better quit calling me, or you'll get the same as her. Not that I meant to. If she hadn't hit me, nothing would have happened. I just wanted to rough him up a little bit. But she hit me! Just 'cause I whacked him a couple times. I never would have hurt her.
but he isn't.
There's a trailer on top of it is grass. They fill the inside up with dirt and made the sides of glass. It lets you climb the steps up to the top for free and look down through a little hole above his old TV. But if you want some more, you pay to go inside. A tent that goes around the trailer in which Herman hides. Herman plays piano when no one is around. He has an upright baby Steinway
Underneath the ground.
Hurry, hurry, right this way to the world's most disturbing collection of human oddities. I'm Tex, your host und guide, und this is Mickey the Mumbling Midget. Mumble für den Folks, Mickey.
Ho, 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 I'm Jello Jack.
You can pour him from a pitcher or put him in a pie like pudding. It's Jelly Jack, the world's one and only boneless boy. Does it think and feel? Look this way and learn the secrets of Jelly Jack.
Jello Jack, the jolly boneless boy. I live inside the jar beside the rooster boy named Roy. They pour me out upon a platform, and the people stare. And eyeballs in a pool of flesh, surrounded by some hair. I wish I was a cowboy, or maybe just a bird, singing simple melodies that no one ever heard. Soaring with the winter winds and bringing in the spring, sharing air with orioles and bumblebees that sting. And making babies proud of all the bugs that I would bring. I'd sit up high above the ground and laugh as I looked down at all the silly humans as they slowly trudged around. But as I see the end of evening turn into the night, that bird inside my brain becomes a light that is too bright. the sucking sound of suction, sucking sections of my soul, sucking sections of the only thought my mind will salivate and drool and press against itself, and press against itself and feel the cursing glow of fever driven, biting, grinding. Ring the center of the sun with shafts of solid steel. Know that there is nothing like the feeling of those steel fingers up inside of something sticky, sweet and wet. Feel the lips of licking, licky, wet liquid. Feel the tongue that touches the tips of sharp, pointed things.
The King and I.
Don't ya step on the blues once you.
Baby girl and a baby boy. Man makes them happy. 'Cause a man makes them toys. And after man makes everything he can, you know that man makes money to buy another man. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't
somehow ran away, but was not in his cage. Soon would need a shave.
Lassie looked at something shapeless lying on the lawn, scratching at some scabby sores and stretching as it yawned. It seemed to be uneasy as it looked up at the moon. She sensed the tension in the air and smelled a sweet baboon.
Pungent was the warm aroma drifting in the air. She hoped that he would smell her heat and lick her silken hair.
In 1982, the Residents premiered their first fully staged performance piece, The Mole Show. I was the narrator of that show. My name is Penn Jillette. On the surface, The Mole Show is a simple story of unresolved conflict. The moles, a gentle race of hideous but benevolent workers, are driven from their underground homes by a flood. They migrate to another land and are initially perceived as cheap labor by their new neighbors. But soon the shallow and superficially more attractive chubs see themselves becoming outnumbered by the peaceful moles. Slowly, their mercenary greed turns to fear and the inevitable conflict begins. Well, now that's all well and good, but it doesn't say much about what was really going on. Oh yeah, the residents may have seen themselves as the ugly, sweet moles crawling out of their own self-imposed underground. And yeah, they may have seen the culture that existed outside their introverted little world as the pleasantly malignant chubs. And the unresolved conflict may have simply been a reflection of the fear they felt painfully crawling out into an uncaring glare of public scrutiny. But that doesn't begin to tell the real story. The one I know. The one I lived for 6 weeks and 4,000 hell-filled minivan miles touring Europe and nearly dying in some god-forsaken Spanish hospital, all the while pretending to be a bozo who hated the residents. That's right. While they smugly cowered behind their screen, I stood out in front and deliberately antagonized the audience. That's right, the exact same audience who had paid for the privilege of seeing their faceless heroes soon found themselves in the position of having no one to relate to but me. And I was not only arrogant, condescending, and highly sarcastic, I was also becoming emotionally unraveled and maybe even dangerous. Eventually, I appeared to stop the show and had to be pulled off the stage, but gagged and handcuffed to a wheelchair, I was soon brought back, and as I stared at the audience, anyone who had somehow clung to the frayed threads of continuity in this cornucopia of chaos must have looked back at me and seen their true psychic reflection. A castrated clown in the seat of a cynic. And why? Why? Why, you ask, would the residents have created such an interesting but ultimately unfulfilling vehicle for their first public unveiling? Well, I could say it may have something to do with personal crisis, or I could say it might have reflected turmoil and dissatisfaction within the group, but the residents never told me that. All I can do is repeat a riddle one of them told me a long time ago. He said, "Penn, why did the little moron resurrect Christ?" Puzzled, I could only stare at him until he finally answered, "To get to the other side, of course." Well, the ambulance is here. Enjoy the rest of the time.
The Mole Show. Mark of the Mole. The Residents. Not available.
Yes, I've got some questions that are guaranteed to shake you up. How much marriage urges a windmill to pinch infinity?
Someone saw a strange amount of moisture on her lips, and it was also seen upon her arms and on her hips. Exactly who she was or how she died, but when they opened up her purse, they found a snail inside. Found her crying in the morning, sitting in a chair. She was wrapping something up and wrapping it with care. I did not mean to hurt her when I fell asleep last night. I was just exhausted from the act of being polite. Yes, I was just exhausted from the act of being polite. something I must say. The only really perfect love
is one that gets away.
We are simple, you are simple, life is simple too. We are simple, you are simple, life is simple too.
Okay. Never mind. What a crouch! Forget it! Never mind! Excuse me! Now, ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence. For this is the trailer of the Pickled Punks. Properly preserved remains of their greatest attractions in freak show history. Enter if you dare. Jeez!
We are only equal in the grave and in the dark, said a man whose head was halfway eaten by a shark. You might ask me why I would continue on like this. I doubt that I would know. I can only make a guess. Half a mouth may not be much, but it's still half a kiss.
Are these silly eyeball heads merely cover-ups for much more hideous horrors beneath? Only the residents, stars of stage, screen, phonograph und now CD-ROM know for sure. Ha 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 ha!
Hello? Hello? Is that you, Mr. Eddie? I hope so, 'cause you haven't called me for a while. How are you, Mr. Eddie? It's okay if you don't answer. I know you're just shy and not really mean or anything. I'm shy too, Mr. Eddie, so I know what it's like to want to be with people, but not know what to say. Maybe we could just be together on the phone and not say anything. I bet you'd like that, Mr. Eddie. Maybe we can just be together for a while. My mom is calling, so I have to go, but please call back soon, Mr. Eddie. Bye-bye. I love you.
Forever.
Nein, you must stay out of this area. What you want? Get out of there. You still there? Well, pour me a drink. I was the best. The best, you hear? I was the best lion tamer there ever was. I will be back, you know. I just need a little more time and my leg will be good as new. The big cats, they was afraid of me until Jocko, this feeble container of flea feces, bit me on the back of the leg. They say I lost my nerve, but it's not true. My leg was hurt more serious than I thought. It's only been 5 years, and so what if I drink and smoke maybe a little too much? Roxanne, the beautiful Roxanne. I love to watch her upon the trapeze. Then she left me because of this deceased backbiter. But she'll be back. When I'm in the center ring again, she'll be crawling back. What? You seen me mit die Flusi Mabel, so what? You think the great Texas Fritz would truly get involved with some big boob bimbo from a soccer show? It's nothing. Nothing. Wanda? Wanda? That disgusting bag of bacon bits? No, I don't want to talk about her. But sometimes I hear her crying late at night say, buddy, will you pour me one more? Just one more and I'll tell you the story of...
Huh? Who is this? Nobody talks, so I guess it must be Whitey the human grubworm. What do you want, Whitey? Some cockroach soup? Oh, never mind, I'll be over later.
Tales of Two Cities. Brownest Fats.
Law office. Law office. Christ, look, Herman. I told you, if you're going to call, you got to talk. My time is expensive, you understand? I'm glad you called, though, because we need to talk. I don't know if I can take your case. I know you think those jerks are stealing your music, and if we serve them with a subpoena, they're going to be in big trouble if they show up in court wearing those eyeball heads. But you know, as a plaintiff, you got to show up in court, too. Are you ready for that? Talk to me, Herman. Forget it.
She figgles and jiggles like a tub of rubber blubber. It's Wanda. Wanda the worm woman, smiling her saintly smile while loudly licking her wet and figgling worms. And no one knows why, not even myself.
Dear Sister Solace, thank you for guiding me on a tour of the mission. The positive effects of your efforts with the infirm and debilitated have inspired my every waking moment since the conclusion of our pleasant but all too brief encounter. If you are open to the possibility of another meeting, please expect me to pursue a suitable arrangement as soon as my schedule allows. The earnest nature of your endeavor will surely fuel and fill my prayers until I see you again. By the grace of God, I remain, Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, once again I have left your presence all but overcome with emotion. The tenderness and compassion you displayed in comforting the one-eyed infant will surely dominate my dreams for decades to come. No one even knows her name, but after observing you extract the infection fouling her sightless socket, my own eyes filled with tears as you clutched her to your bosom sweetly as a cherub cherishing the chalice of our Lord. May the Holy See always be blessed by the simple serenity you radiate with ease. The purity will preoccupy my prayers until your sight fills my eyes once again. Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, each time I leave your side more awestruck than I previously perceived as possible. But now I have a request. More than a request, actually. I beg, beseech, and implore you to grant me this one small indulgence. Long have I held the desire of uniting our prayers, and, if you and God are willing, I believe this to be the correct moment. I realize that your vow of silence precludes the possibility of a direct response, but if your desires are in any way concurrent with my own, then I will see you tomorrow night as I conclude the first evening of my novena in the small chapel. My prayers will not be properly propelled until that moment. Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The substance of sanctified grace imbuing the essence of our prolonged but prudent prayer session has greatly exceeded the expectations of my previously limited imagination. If the effect of our effort has also reached a resonance within your psyche, then we have indeed achieved success, and I know I will find you in the small chapel at the same time next week. Until then, I gratefully remain, Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, the occasion of our dual devotions now numbers 3. The fervor, joy, and purely zealous zest with which I pursue my daily goals is nothing short of astounding. I've come to realize that a slug attempting the ascension of Lot's wife would do so with more vigor than my previous and pitiful attempts at virtue. But this is not the point of my message. Something occurred during our last meeting which has left me deeply moved, but also more than a little confused. Surely you must remember the moment during which we moved slightly closer together. It was just before the final Our Father that always concludes our encounters, and for an instant you momentarily lost your balance. As I reached over to offer my assistance, we touched for the first time. Perhaps you noticed my temporary loss of composure, or perhaps not, but the sensation of shock I registered could only be compared to the feeling one might experience during an encounter with unprotected electrical wiring. A sensation that has only slightly receded during the last 2 days, hence my confusion. In any other instance, such a phenomenon would obviously evidence the presence of the Holy Spirit, and this is surely the manner in which I wish the moment to be perceived. But I do wonder, and wonder, and wonder, and you with your vow of silence can aid my wonder in no way at all. Oh well, until next week, by the grace of God, I will remain wondering. Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, a deep sense of embarrassment surrounds my soul as I reflect back upon the last letter I penned for your eyes alone. The stimulus which had so disturbed me at the close of our last encounter has become so commonplace that I am currently finding difficulty in understanding the source of my previous problem. Now it seems that each time we meet and pray together, somehow our 2 physical forms fit closer than the time before, and in the process, a passage of energy flows between us that can only be measured as a manifestation of the love of our Lord. And with this love, my soul has soared to heights beyond the ken of my hitherto cloudy and closed condition, all the while infusing my life with a previously unknown sense of purpose. But there is a dark spot in the sea of sunlight and love. Perhaps you are familiar with Father Bartholomew, an older priest with whom I have worked closely in the past. While the depth of our connection has never approached the import of that which you and I share, still the relationship has not been without meaning. But lately, Father Bartholomew has seemed strangely distant to me, and I often notice him staring in my direction shortly after my encounters with you. Once or twice he appeared upon the cusp of approaching me, but then changed his mind and walked away. I suppose it is nothing but a minor nag at the outer recesses of my psyche, but now that I have experienced perfection, I want no less, and I expect to have it again soon. Until then, I remain yours forever in the eyes and glory of God, Father Philip O'Malley. My dearest Wanda, please forgive my impetuous familiarity, but I am no longer capable of limiting my emotions to the narrow dimensions demanded by my profession. If only for a single moment, I must be personal, I must be direct, and I must unleash my bridled heart. Surely you noticed that I ended my last letter with the statement that I was yours forever. The words were simple and easily slipped past my consciousness, at least until later that night when I suddenly awoke from a sound sleep. Those words, yours forever, were exploding in my brain over and over and over, like waves pounding an unprotected promontory, and each time the words screamed out, an invisible hand squeezed my heart, and with each cycle of screaming and squeezing came the most curious companions, a paralyzing pain and a paramount pleasure that eventually eroded away, leaving a lump like dirty laundry to linger and glow in my throat. And all I can think of is you, and all I can think of is you, and all I can think of is how clean and purified I feel after ripping open my soul and displaying the depth of emotion my heart holds for you, and you alone. I realize I have drastically overstepped my boundaries, and if this letter gives you offense in any way, please excuse my outburst of pure, unfettered joy. For once I have lived as a man should live, free, proud, and unashamed, and if God demands a price, then I will pay it in solitude at the small chapel tomorrow night. Until that moment, my heart hangs on the tenderest of hooks. I love you. Phil. Dear Sister Solace, I find myself confused once more. The joy I felt upon the discovery of your presence in the small chapel last night was all but overwhelming, but even that could not match the feeling of finally touching your soul. As our eyes embraced, I somehow felt I would never know this moment again, and once the first tear had fallen from your eyes, I could see that my instinct was correct. I know not the origin of your dewy drops, joy or pity, sadness or fear, but I do know the sobering effect I felt as their moisture spread across my lap. And to what result? Now I find myself caught in a crack called doubt. God, the signal of substance, the monument of meaning, looms up in front of me, basking in the glow of infinite wisdom and love. But back behind is Satan, soaked in sickness and dwelling in decay, and easily able to manipulate my mad emotions to suit his evil ends. And where am I but in between, desperately searching the face of God for the reflection of our love, and terrified of looking over my shoulder for fear of finding it there. To make matters worse, Father Bartholomew has now begun to follow me. Several times I have seriously considered approaching him in regard to his actions, but my current state of mind would not allow such a confrontation. I need peace. Perhaps I'll find it in our next encounter, but until then, please understand that while I may have doubts regarding the nature of our connection, I do not doubt the feelings I have for you. Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, Anguish is my name. Am I a cursed Philistine, or simply an angel on a mission unknown? For the past 48 hours, I have done nothing but read from the Scriptures, and by now have collected more than a sufficient number of passages to support any and all chaos my mind might choose to manufacture. But I do know this: in my meager mind, torment reigns supreme. And is this torment a true manifestation of Satan? Am I witnessing and even participating in a true temptation from the world, the flesh, or the devil? Or am I merely being bestowed with an unknown gift of stewardship, dwelling deep within the kingdom of God? And has God not created us? And is not what we have given to each other and to the world around us not infinitely superior to the slimy sea of lust-infested maggots writhing and twisting throughout this pool of pus we laughingly refer to as civilization? At times I have wondered if perhaps we are not a new Adam and Eve, chosen by God to restore Him to the greatness that is His alone. Perhaps it is only you and I who are destined to survive the coming apocalypse predicted in Revelations, and perhaps my folly is so great that I will seize even the slightest and silliest pretense to justify a course of action dead set on the pathway to mortal sin. And somehow this agony manages to course its way through all parts of my being. My dreams, when I do fall into a fitful sleep, are laden with images of death and doom, and more than anything else, I am continually burdened by the sinister spectre of Father Bartholomew. Yesterday morning I noticed that he was gradually moving closer towards me. Each time I would walk from the chancery to the chapel, or from the sacristy to the confessional, he would be a little closer until, finally, as I stepped out of the bathroom, he was waiting right on the other side of the door. Confused by his sudden appearance, I hesitated just as he stepped forward and whispered in my ear, "Soon you will be with the worms." And then, just as suddenly, he turned and walked away. For days he follows me, and then all he has to say for himself is, "Soon you will be with the worms." And now he has disappeared. At that point I was so startled that I jumped backwards into the bathroom, slipped on the tile floor, and broke a tooth as my head hit the sink. Tired and bleeding, I sat on the floor and wept like a baby until finally falling asleep. That was several hours ago, and now my misery is written down on paper in front of you. I don't know what else to do with it, but maybe God will reveal His plan for me soon. I hope to see you before long, but my confused state of mind will not allow me to plan further ahead than the next 30 seconds. Exercise redemptive love at every opportunity, and always cherish your gifts. Father Philip O'Malley. Dear Sister Solace, I am afraid I must request a brief respite to our weekly dual devotionals. My constant state of consternation has reached such a point of apprehension that I feel I have no choice but seek justification with God in the form of a private retreat. The book of Job tells us that there is no adequate human explanation for the mystery of evil or suffering, and that only faith in God and submission to His will can make them bearable. If this is so, then God will make all known to me. I must find the Word. I must find the way. I must find the truth. I must find the life. I must find the light. And once I have found them, by the grace of God you will hear from me again. Please keep this tooth until I return. Father Philip O'Malley.
Sneering at a leering lady as she stares and squirms, and wonder with her saintly smile at living vague of worms. I like to watch their faces fall as we disgust and shameful. Seeking suckers is my game, no longer lion taming. Like a pink and pregnant pumpkin perched upon her neck, Wanda Watkin's head was hurt and it was bitten by insects. I watched the awkward way she waddled, walking to the pail she always used to wash her worms and clean beneath her nail. I love the soul I see inside her, but I just can't love her. Folding fat that rolls around like bowling balls.
Watch me, watch me, watch me, won't you? Watch me for a while. Watch me pick my worms up, put them in a pile. Watch me sit upon 'em with my Mona Lisa smile. Watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me, won't you? Watch me, won't you? Won't you, won't you? Won't you? Watch me, watch me.
Why? Wonder why?